All right, so today we're diving deep into, you guessed it, the world of IShowSpeed.
Ah, yes.
Specifically, his wild trip to Ireland.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you sent this to us, and honestly, I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
It's a wild ride.
Talk about a wild ride, but it's a perfect example of what we've been talking about with these IRL streams, right?
Absolutely. This is like prime example.
Like, this isn't just a guy making a travel vlog.
No.
This is about taking that over-the-top IShowSpeed energy and just, like, unleashing it on the streets of Dublin.
And seeing what happens.
With the audience right there with him every step of the way.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just him experiencing Ireland. It's like this whole collective, chaotic adventure.
And the chat is loving it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, from the second he steps off the plane, he's reacting to everything.
Oh, yeah.
The prices,
Yeah.
the accents, even the benches, you know? He actually...
So don't get me started on the bench.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, the benches. Like, who knew that paying to sit down could be such a source of comedic gold?
And that's the thing, right? Like, it's such a small detail, but his reaction, instant outrage, turns it into a joke, and boom, instant engagement with the chat.
And that's what I find so fascinating about these IRL streams.
Tell me more.
It's like they thrive on these little cultural misunderstandings.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's relatable, right? We've all had those moments where we're like, wait, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But Speed takes it to a whole other level.
Like it's performance art.
And the chat, it's like they're all in on the joke.
Which is part of the appeal.
And they're not just passive observers either, right?
Oh, no. They're active participants.
He's constantly talking to them, asking for subs, telling them what to type.
Like a hive mind.
It's like he's playing a video game and the chat is his controller.
And Ireland is the map?
Exactly. And like any good video game, there are goals.
Levels to unlock.
And in this case, the ultimate goal is...
hitting that 27 million subscriber count.
Which he mentions, what, like every 5 minutes?
Constantly. It's like a running tally in the corner of the screen.
And it speaks to that speed economy you were talking about.
Yes. It's fascinating, isn't it? This
Yeah.
constant reminder that even amidst the chaos,
This is still a business.
there's a transaction happening.
And it's not just the subs, it's the memberships, the donations.
Even the merch, right? People buying into the brand, the experience.
And it all circles back to that question of, like, what's real and what's staged.
The line is blurry.
Like that bit where he forgets to pay for the nose wax.
Classic.
Did he actually forget, or is it all for the bit?
Does it even matter at this point?
Exactly. It's all part of the show.
And the audience is buying it.
But before we get too deep into that rabbit hole, let's rewind a bit to that moment with the Tesco jacket.
What?
The Tesco jacket. It comes out of nowhere.
Oh, right. The
What?
Tesco jacket, yes.
Like, this fan just appears and hands him this bright blue Tesco jacket.
Peak IShowSpeed.
It was like something out of a video game, just completely absurd and random.
And he rolls with it.
Of course he does, because that's what makes him so entertaining.
It's unpredictable.
You never know what's going to happen next.
And that keeps people coming back for more.
Speaking of unpredictable, his reaction to the Irish whiskey ice cream was priceless.
Oh my God, I was dying.
The look on his face when he realized it was a real thing.
Like pure culture shock distilled into a single facial expression.
It was amazing, and it perfectly highlights how these little cultural differences, they can be so funny.
And so revealing.
Like, what we take for granted, the things we don't even think about, can be completely foreign to someone else.
And vice versa.
It's all about perspective.
Exactly.
And Speed, whether he realizes it or not, he's got this knack for, like, highlighting those differences.
It's a gift.
In the most entertaining way possible.
Absolutely. He's like a one-man cultural exchange program.
But, you know, with a lot more yelling and chaos.
And definitely more Irish whiskey ice cream.
A lot more yelling and chaos in Irish whiskey ice cream, that's for sure.
That's IShowSpeed in a nutshell.
But you know what else is fascinating about this whole thing?
What's that?
Even when he's totally misinterpreting things, like completely missing the mark,
Which happens a lot, let's be honest.
it was still somehow worse.
It's like his superpower.
It's like that bit with the pog mothoin.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, I don't know if we can even translate that for the audience.
Let's just say it involves a certain part of the anatomy.
That you don't want someone poking.
Exactly. But Speed, being Speed, here's Pokemon.
And just rolls with it.
And of course, the chat goes absolutely bonkers.
Like they live for those moments.
It's like they're all in on the joke, even if the joke is unintentional.
Which I think speaks to a larger point about humor in general, right?
Go on.
Like what we find funny, what we consider a misunderstanding, it's all relative.
Oh, absolutely.
It's shaped by our culture, our experiences.
Our sense of humor is like its own language.
And sometimes you need a translator.
Or in this case, IShowSpeed.
Exactly. He's like our guide to the absurd.
But, even amidst all the chaos, all the misunderstandings,
There are these moments of genuine connection that just shine through.
they catch you off guard.
Like that moment when he shares his chicken with the fan.
Who waited, what was it, like hours?
Yeah, hours. Just to meet him.
And Speed, without hesitation, just like offers him some of his food.
It was a small gesture.
But it spoke volumes.
It's like in that moment, all the cameras, the chat, the speed economy, all of it just fades away.
And you're left with this genuine human interaction.
Which, let's be honest, is what we're all craving deep down.
Connection.
Exactly. And it's not just the chicken, right? Remember the pizza making bit?
Oh, how could I forget?
He goes in there full of skepticism.
Like, what are these people doing?
But then as soon as he sees the dough spinning,
The artistry of it all.
his whole demeanor changes.
He's like a kid in a candy store.
And that, I think, is what makes Speed so compelling.
What do you mean?
He's not afraid to be vulnerable, to show his enthusiasm.
Even if it means looking a little silly.
Yeah. Like, he's not putting on an act, he's just being himself.
And that authenticity, it's refreshing.
It's what allows those moments of genuine connection to land.
Whether it's sharing food with a fan,
Or marveling at the art of pizza making.
or even, dare I say, bonding with those Irish wolfhounds.
Oh, man, the wolfhounds. We can't forget about them.
That was another one of those moments where you could just tell he was genuinely in awe.
Those dogs were huge.
Like gentle giants.
But still, I think even Speed was a little intimidated.
As he should be. Those are powerful creatures.
But he still tried to get one to kiss him.
Which, knowing Speed, could have gone very, very wrong.
But it didn't. It was actually kind of sweet.
It was like, for a moment, he was just a guy hanging out with some dogs.
Forgetting about the cameras, the chat, the millions of people watching.
Just enjoying the simple things.
Which I think is a good reminder for all of us.
Sometimes you just gotta unplug and appreciate the moment.
Even if that moment involves a giant Irish wolfhound trying to lick your face, a giant Irish wolfhound trying to lick your face, that's a moment you don't forget.
Exactly. But those moments are like these little glimpses behind the curtain, you know?
Yeah, it's like for a second we see the real person behind the persona.
The man behind the meme.
But then, just as quickly, it's back to the chaos.
Back to the grind.
Because at the end of the day, this is still a business.
Oh, absolutely. This whole stream, this whole trip to Ireland, it's all part of the larger Speed economy.
And it's easy to forget that when you're caught up in the moment.
Totally. You're laughing, you're entertained, you're maybe even learning a thing or two about Irish culture.
But behind it all, there's this constant drive for growth, for engagement.
The subscriber count is like the stock market ticker of the Speed economy.
Always going up, up, up.
And Speed knows how to play that game.
Oh, he's a master.
He knows exactly what buttons to push, what levers to pull.
To keep the audience engaged, to keep them coming back for more.
And you got to hand it to him. It's a pretty impressive operation.
It really is. Like, he's turned unpredictability into a science.
Chaos is a business model.
And it works. People love it.
Because it's real, even when it's not.
That's the paradox, isn't it? Like, we know he's putting on a show.
To some extent, yeah.
But we buy into it anyway because it's entertaining.
And because there's this element of what's he going to do next?
Which is the beauty of IRL, right? It's unscripted, it's unpredictable.
Anything can happen.
And often does, especially when IShowSpeed is involved.
The man's a walking, talking highlight reel.
A one-man cultural exchange program on Fast Forward.
With a side of Irish whiskey ice cream.
And a whole lot of heart. Let's not forget about that.
Absolutely. Beneath all the chaos, all the absurdity, there's a genuine desire to connect with people.
To share experiences, to make them laugh.
And that's what makes IShowSpeed, for all his flaws, such a fascinating figure in this crazy world of online entertainment.
He's a mirror to our collective desire for connection, for entertainment, for something real.
Even if that realness is carefully curated and filtered through the lens of a camera.
And you know what? At the end of the day, maybe that's enough.
Maybe that's all that matters.
A little bit of laughter, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of human connection.
And maybe, just maybe, a newfound appreciation for the simple things in life.
Like a good Tesco jacket.
Or a scoop of Irish whiskey ice cream.
Hey, whatever makes you happy, right?
Exactly. So until next time, dear listeners, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the wild world of online culture.
Because you never know what you might find.